Small town, big crowd, and there you were in front of me. Small talk, big thoughts, all we wanted was to escape. This sounds too small for dreams like this. Don't wanna settle down, don't wanna miss out on adventures, things we haven't seen. Take my hand and follow me. Baby, we're leaving at midnight. It's time for a change, let's get out of here. We'll never look back, this is our time. We're leaving at midnight, leaving at midnight.
So tell me, ma'am, what do you wish to know about my nephew?
Firstly, tell me about your nephew.
My nephew, Adelram. He used to be the brightest wizard I knew, always smiling and always making others smile. I noticed a sudden shift in him the day he witnessed his father's death, and at the hands of a witch. I tried my best to care for the boy. Something darker than I ever could have imagined grasped tightly onto his soul. His powers, his mother's powers, began to physically grow roots in his body, feasting on his feelings of grief and turned into rage.
Oh, that's heartbreaking to hear. And to think, he was such a happy child.
It was horrible. He only seemed to get worse and worse. During a peace discussion meeting, some witch took his father's name in vain, and he snapped at her rather viciously. But not long after that night, I saw him smiling again, running around and preparing for festivities, like the little boy I once knew. I found out he'd found someone he'd fallen in love with, and I couldn't have been happier. I even got the honor of meeting the lovely lady myself. Her name is Imelda.
Can you tell me what you know about this Imelda?
Well, she's a very hard-working young lady. Very kind, polite, determined, honest.
On the contrary, I would use many words to describe her, and I can assure you honest is not one of them. Imelda is the Witch of Fear, Alynn. I'm quite sure the name is familiar to you.
Do you have any proof of this wild accusation?
Oh, plenty. After all, I am the head witch. If you desire further proof, I have documentation of her association with us, and her generous contribution to the war up until 3 years ago.
I don't believe it. My own nephew in love with a witch, and after everything he's done for, history is repeating itself.
I understand this simply must be tough, but in these times we must remain strong so those following us do too. I propose we demonstrate what happens to traitors such as themselves. An execution or imprisonment. Something in which they suffer.
Out of the question. You're not placing hands on my nephew and grandniece. Understood?
Fine. I won't hurt your nephew. Family comes first, after all.
You haven't made the same promise for my grandniece. I promise you, if I find a scratch on her, you and your associates will suffer by my hands.
And here I was trying to have a little chat. Mother did tell me you were one of the civil ones. But then again, I suppose even your parents can be wrong. What a shame. But I thank you for not killing me on the spot. I'll minimize the damage to that child if that eases you. Good night.
Well, Uncle, it's time for me to go. Uncle Avunculus?
Please, sit down for a minute. We have to talk.
So, is that the orb?
Yup. Can contain anything and everything. All set and ready to be put into action.
Darrell? I finished filling out the forms. I'm leaving tonight, you see.
Oh, we know, Alynn. We know.